Welcome back to another episode of the Monday Motivation Podcast, No More Excuses. I'm your host, Sandy Ballard, the Badass Business Coach. And today I'm in rare form. I actually have a guest, Jack from the Ukraine on. And not only is he a guest, he's my youngest guest, because most of you know I rarely have guests, but he reached out and his story was so compelling. It is the epitome of no more excuses. So I'd love to have you all listen in or watch if you're watching on my YouTube channel. And welcome, Jack. And please tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me. I'm really glad to be a guest. I really appreciate it. And yeah, basically, something that I guess, love you to know about me is basically why I decided to reach out to Sandy and, do this whole thing is I used to be a lazy, dumb teenager, the epitome of doing nothing and basically just wasting time. And I guess at one moment, everything just kind of flipped for me, and I started doing a lot of stuff. I started making music because I always wanted to do that. I released 2 songs in a month. I started a podcast, released like 12 episodes in a couple of weeks. I started, growing a personal brand on social media, started getting into business, started, doing a lot of stuff all at once, running a 10K race, charity 10K race, right now I'm training for duathlon. So yeah, it's a lot going on and it just kind of started happening all at once. And yeah, it's a lot of fun and something I'm really proud of and something that I hope can inspire people to, do the same and just stop making excuses.
Awesome. Yes, no more excuses, right? And
Right.
your real name is
Zhenia. But
I've tried a couple times and he said just keep calling him Jack. So
yeah,
and you are 16 and graduating in about 1 month, correct?
yeah, in about like 20 days, something
Yeah.
like
So,
that.
so yes, he should be studying right now probably for final exams, but instead he's on the call with me and I really, really appreciate it. And yeah, I'm just like I was intrigued. And at first I was like, oh, what has this kid got to say? And then I remembered, a lot of times there's so many adults out there that probably had the mindset or view. Well, there was a lot of us. I just shared a story about how much of a defiant little asshole teenager I was. But I made it through. Well, I had the father that forced me. You grew out of it way before a lot of kids do, and I just thought that was really cool. And you learned how to get off your ass. And one of the quotes I like to say is get off your ass and do something your future self will thank you for. So there's a lot of adults out there that are still not even off their ass yet. So you mentioned a podcast, you mentioned songs, you mentioned running, and you've already run your first race, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So like all of those at one time, I mean, that's a little bit of overachieving, don't you think?
No, I don't think it's overachieving. I don't think overachieving is a real thing, to be honest. Like everybody says, like overachieving, doing too much, but I don't think it's a real thing. Like the more the better, right?
Awesome. Well, that's cool. I love it. I love it. And a lot of times, if you don't have goals and things to work toward, even day to day, you tend to waste your time. Like I can fart away my time all day. In America we like to say fiddle fart. We have a lot of funny little sayings. Basically, we're wasting our time, and that's where I really preach to my clients, to anyone, to myself, to keep things going, to keep a list, to keep to dos in front of you, so you have something you want to get up and are excited about. And so it sounds like when those things finally clicked with you, that like you said, it's not really overachieving, it's giving you something to look forward to, it sounds like.
That's for sure. That's 100%. And really, having goals is super important. And it's such a game changer because so many people it's like when you when there's a ship out in the sea, and if a person doesn't know where they're going on that ship, no wind is a favorable wind. Is that what it's called? Favorable wind?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like no wind is favorable wind because you just don't know where you're going. So yeah, having goals and basically having a just a simple to-do list is a real game changer for so many people, and for me, it definitely is.
So, and like what my first book, From There to Here, it was me telling on myself that I had said I was going to do a lot of things, but I didn't have the plan. And so once I switched those into just talking, saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, because you could say, oh, yeah, I'm going to run, I'm going to create a podcast, one day I'm going to make a song. But then you have to have that plan. Like you said, the little to dos help create that plan. So, what helps you stick to that plan and achieve I guess, or what has helped you stick to that plan and achieve those goals? Because you've already written what, two songs now, you said?
Yeah, yeah, 2 songs, and I guess it's just approaching the goal and the to-do list like it's a mission, like it's a challenge, like it's something fun, like because to be honest, I love a challenge, and I think many people love a challenge. Just making it fun and making it, again, as I said, a mission and kind of a game with yourself. Like, can I make it? Can I not make it? Like, can I just how much stuff can I get done in a really short period of time? Like, just make it a challenge, make it fun, make it a game. That's been kind of a
Well,
real game
and
changer.
that's so true because where I got my coaching certification, they liked to call it a game. They like to name like what's so when I start working with clients, I'd be like, okay, let's name your game. And I had some clients push back and they're like, well, I don't like sports or this isn't fun. But like you said, you got to make it fun, not just work, because work is that four-letter word. But in that same note, it is work. It is. I mean, if you don't, you can't just say, I'm going to run a race and not actually train or run, because that's going to hurt worse. You're not going to just say you're going to write a song. You've got to actually sing the song, write the song, get the tune together. So you still do have to work, but I like how you said, let's make it fun. So, is that a tip, or what tip would you give whoever's listening out there? Any other lazy ass teenager out there or lazy ass adult that wants to achieve stuff, what would you suggest to them?
I mean, at first, it has to be like a decision, like a really radical decision. And at first, it sucks. Like when I was preparing for my 10K race, I was literally running 10 kilometers every day for a week, and it was hard. It sucked, but I learned a lot, and I, I think I improved a lot. I mean, it wasn't necessarily beneficial for the actual prep. I don't think so. I don't think running 10 kilometers every day and basically not recovering probably has any benefits. But it really kind of helped me build that discipline and get into the groove of just getting stuff done and just building that discipline. And in this case, discipline is really probably like probably the most important quality a person can have to, just achieve things and start doing something.
So make the decision and start with the discipline or habits, and that is the thing. I've had clients that don't like to stick with habits and they wonder why they're not achieving their goals. I mean, I've had goals that I haven't achieved, and I look back through and I'm like, okay, well, this is why. This is what got in the way. This is, you mentioned when we were talking before we started recording that, yeah, COVID hit, the war started. There's a lot of things that went into your mindset to just keep pushing you down, down, down. And then you made that radical decision to switch that flip and go, you know what, I can sit here and bitch and moan, like a typical teenager, or I can get off my ass and do something my future self will thank you for. So I just think that's really cool. So who would you say, since that switch has flipped, who would you say has helped you the most?
Oh, probably. I mean, definitely my family, like 100%. But I guess if I had to choose like one person, um, probably my dad.
Okay.
Like, yeah, or my sister. I don't know. I can't choose. Almost
That's
like
okay. I guess it doesn't have to be just one, but so
yeah,
what did they do to help you?
that was just like super, super supportive and just, kept pushing me. And my dad has this thing where um, he's like a personal policy when he doesn't really like to talk about his goals. He just likes to present the result. Just like, like, here, I did this thing, it worked out, here's the result, goal achieved. Hell yeah. And when I started, well, it always happens when I start talking about like I want to do this, I want to do that. He's like, no, basically shut up and do it first, then talk about it.
Okay.
And that's been really helpful. Like I really love that he's doing that.
Okay.
So
And that I can understand that because a lot of times if people share their goals, and I do suggest to clients that they're careful that's why people hire me because they can, I'm here as their cheerleader, their ass kicker, their whatever they need. But there have been people that have shared their goals with their spouses, significant others, friends, best friends. And had my best friend not called me out on the stuff I was going to do, I don't know if I ever would have written that first book and started talking about that. But you do have to be careful because some people will shit on your goals. They will say, "Oh, you're never going to do that. You're never going to run a marathon or a race or whatever. You're never going to write a song because." And that usually stems from their own fears, right? So
that,
I like it how they said and focus on the result because usually, not usually, always when I have people, my goal worksheet is what do you want to achieve, but what's the result? Because if you hold on to that result, that's what's going to help you get there because you're going to. I like to say people take it both ways. Whatever gets you up out of bed in the morning is what should keep you up at night because you're excited. You're thinking about getting up tomorrow and doing it again because you want to versus feeling like you have to. And it sounds like you're holding on to that result, that vision of who you want to become. So this is a question I asked. I was being interviewed years ago on a radio show, and I asked the interviewer, and this popped in my head before we got on the Zoom. But if you were a fly on the wall, it's your obituary. I know you're only 16, so let's not hurt that up. I
yeah.
mean, and I know you're only 16, but you started achieving so much. And the fact that you're graduating, I mean, we were talking about how here you don't graduate in America till you're 17 or 18, sometimes 19. Fly on the wall at your obituary, at your funeral. Um, what would you want to hear people say about you?
Oh, that's a cool question. That's a really cool question. I've never heard anything like that.
That's what makes me so badass.
Yeah, you are badass. That's so cool. I didn't know you had a book. You had a book
Oh,
like that. That's so
sure.
cool. I didn't know that.
I've got it
Cool.
back there. Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they're all available on Amazon. Just a little self promotion there, but thank you. At your
Really?
funeral, what would you want people to hear people say about you?
Yeah, I guess, wow. I think that I would love to say, I'd like to hear that I inspired them and that I motivated them and kind of, I don't know, basically, I think that the the thing that I really want to do is just help people just get inspired and start doing stuff and just kind of prove and set an example, I guess, that it, you can do literally anything if you commit, if you have the discipline, and just that I was. a good person, I guess. That I was kind, helpful, nice, funny, hopefully.
All right,
I
thank you.
mean,
And
I didn't think,
thank you for not asking me to pause while you thought about that.
yeah, I mean, just trying to be authentic, and it's really a difficult question. So yeah.
Well, and that's I actually have, that's why I kept saying obituary. So my activity, I have a lot of when I do workshops, I'll have people create their own obituary. So but for us today, I was just like, what are you going to hear people say? So with all this, you've got 20 some days left of school, and what's next? You've got 12 podcast episodes, two songs, you're running races, you're going to be graduated from high school. What's next for Jack?
Yeah, what's next? I'm gonna go to university, probably most likely here in Ukraine for 1 year. Then I'm off to another country somewhere. I really want to go to the US. It's like a big goal of mine to, go to New York, and
I saw that. Yeah, cool. Okay.
like I really want to go there. It's a big goal of mine. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep pushing the projects I already have. I want to really get into like business and entrepreneurship and stuff like that. I think that's really exciting. And yeah, just gotta keep growing the, personal brands and keep promoting and just, probably my favorite quote, I guess. And I know this from a book, from Arnold's autobiography. It's like, and the quote goes like, early to bed, early to rise, work like hell, and advertise.
I love it. I like
Yeah,
it. Okay. I'm
and
gonna make sure I use that quote this week in social media for you, Zhenia.
yeah, thank you. And yeah, I just kind of drilled it into my brain, and I'm gonna try to stick to it, and gonna do that. Gonna work like hell and advertise.
So
So
early to bed, early to rise, work like hell, and advertise.
yeah,
Awesome. Do you remember who said it?
I think that Turner said,
Ted Turner. Okay. Awesome.
yeah, I think so. I may be wrong, but probably Ted Turner.
Well, we'll go with it, and the Google will let us know.
Yeah,
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. I know you're 10 hours ahead, so you've got the evening to go, and good luck with the last few weeks of school. And when you get out here to the US, obviously you'll connect, but I do have some great pizza places in New York City for you. So we'll connect, and I'm sure a lot of other people do because there's always an argument about pizza in America. America,
sure.
right? But thank you so much. Like I said, I'm so glad you emailed me, and I really, so obviously, I read the emails because I was like, what's this kid gonna say? And then I'm like, oh my God, no more excuses. He got off his ass, did something his future self will thank him for, and he did not. You just shut down the excuses and started making shit happen, right? So.
For sure, 100%.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so I know I will make sure I put your links and tag you and everything, but is there a easy way for people to find you? Instagram or TikTok or YouTube?
Yeah, of course, just look up Jack Mish,
Okay.
and then there's an underscore, like Jack Mish underscore,
So it's
and
Jack.
Mish, Mish.
Okay, Mish. Okay, and then underscore after Mish.
Yeah,
Okay, awesome.
yeah,
Great. Well, thank you so much. And I look forward to keeping in touch. All right,
yeah, for sure.
everyone. So thanks for listening. Watch the social media the rest of the week for I'm going to quote Jack, and I'm going to connect, like I said, put that on there so you can reach out and find him and listen to his songs, listen to his podcast, and help continue to inspire him, but also be inspired by him. Cheers.